I'll go ahead and get started. Today's topic is shared parameters. In Revit. Going to talk about what they are, how to use them, how to set up your file. Because I've noticed my background, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ann Stroh-Snyder. I'm with SMBH. I'm a senior BIM specialist. And today's topic is shared parameters. Shared parameters are what you use to That's a very good question. In the Revit environment, parameters help you gather information, control things in families. As in the previous installment, we did a quick overview of all the different parameters. Today we're going to talk about the shared parameters and how to use them and document them. Places that you're going to use a shared parameter are going to be families, title blocks especially. You have out-of-the-box parameters that you'll find that are already in your file. And those will be for project information. And sometimes you'll need additional parameters because you want to add things to the title block. And this is where they would show up. So for your title block, you want to show different consultants, perhaps. So to do that, you'll need to set up a shared parameter file. Your shared parameter file is a text file that will live somewhere on the server. Anyone can make a shared parameter file, but it's recommended that you work from one shared parameter file, because if you make the same parameter in another file, it'll have a different ID number, and you'll have, if you put them both in your project, you'll have them listed twice, and that gets confusing. So to create a shared parameter, you'll go to Manage tab, Shared Parameters. And in this instance, I've already created one for the presentation. But to create a new one, you would do Create. Give it a name, place it where it's available to those who need it, and then just save it. And that's how you would create that. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the one I've got started. And you'll notice that I have a group. You can put your parameters in different groups. I started with furniture. Another one could be title blocks. Doors. Structural. You can break it down to how you would use it. That way you don't have a long list to scroll down and figure out which one you want. And for this one, I created an asset tag. Sometimes you're going to have clients that where they have an asset tag and they provide you the information because they want this particular desk to go in this area, or it's a way to give them a schedule with rooms and what furniture equipment is in it, and then they can provide an asset tag back. That's just a workflow that you work out with your clients. But I was talking about title blocks. So let's start a new group. To start a new group, go down to Groups, New, and we'll call this Title Blocks. From here, we create a new parameter. So go up under Parameters, click New, and we'll give this a name. I recommend being kind of broad at first and naming it. So let's say this is a consultant. It's an MEP. And we'll go with the name of the firm or call it organization. Common would be fine. Don't get in a hurry and hit OK because it defaults to length and then you won't be able to enter any information. So for this particular one, we would like it to be text. And hit OK. And we'll go ahead and add a couple more. And we'll start with the same. The nice thing about naming it this way is it organizes the parameters for you when you list them. And it helps if I don't type the same thing. And so we'll go with these three. For a title block, you're going to need to install or bring the shared parameters into your project file or template and also into the title block. So I'm going to start by bringing it into a project file. You can select more than one at a time and hit OK. Or did I do that? Oops. I was wrong, one at a time. I apologize. I showed you how to create the parameters. To bring them into your project, you need to go to Project Parameters, go to Add, then from your Parameters Properties box, Shared Parameter, select, Title Blocks, Organization. It'll populate this. The group parameter is something you'll need to fill out, and this is going to go to project information. No, under text. Then under categories, you will select project information. Go ahead and leave this grouped under text. And then hit OK. Now you can see it's part of your project parameters. Hit OK. Go to project information. And under text, you can see consultant, MEP organization. So I'm going to go ahead and add the other two. Now, when you select your category, what you're telling Revit is this is the only category that this parameter is going to work for. So any parameter that's in here for information, that's the only place it's going to be used is for that purpose. I'm going to go ahead and save so I don't lose my work. And my computer's running just a little slow today. Okay. Is everybody still there? Good.
Yep, still here.
Okay. I just realized I was on my VPN, and that's why everything was moving slow. So I turned it off and wanted to make sure I didn't lose anybody. All right. I'm going to go and open a title block. Use one of the ones Autodesk provided. In this particular one, they're just using text for the various consultants. I'm going to set up one of them using the parameters. So to do that, you're going to create a label over under the text. I think 1/8 inch. Place the label, and you'll get the edit label text. Scroll down, and I don't see my parameters that I'm looking for. Just as we put them into the project, now we get to do it here. So and I apologize. Click on the new parameter button, shared parameter, select it. Sorry, when I turned my VPN off, I lost my connection to my shared parameter file. And that was where my file was on the server. I apologize. All right, I've got them loaded in. So now I'm going to select organization first for the name. And you don't have to do a line at a time. You can actually put them all in one label. And because I have multiple ones, I don't want it to be all in one line. So I check the box next to break. I'm going to move this over to line up there and pull that all the way over so it has some room for that information. Then I'm going to go to consultant. I'm going to go ahead and keep that. Now I'm going to load this back into the project. All right, now you can see that the title block changed, and so where it had addresses and phone number, it now has a question mark when you click on the title block. Now to fill the information in, you can click there and you'll get this pop up and you'll fill in the value to populate it. and then hit OK. And you can see where it's populated it. So you can populate it that way. Or go to project information and you can fill it in there. And you can do this for all your consultants if you like. Another way I've seen it used is sometimes on projects, you'll have 2 different permitting submittals, like a foundation package, and then later on you'll submit the whole package. But you have to keep track of your revisions. So to get those sorted out in the title block, you need to create parameters for that. And so I've seen people use that way. Any questions on shared parameters for title blocks? Okay. Let's look at door schedules. All right, for this schedule, which I believe is out of the box. Door rating. Poor example. I'm going to use furniture as an example. This one, I think, is one that was out of the box. This is one that has the asset tags. Something else you might want to add would be finishes. All right, I'm going to go back to title blocks for a minute because this is something I think everyone uses. And you'll have shared parameters for those. And this is going to be for your sheet lists. I've run into this where instead of sending the architect our sheet list of what they're going to be, we're using their parameters so that it will populate their sheet list properly. So I'm going to go ahead and start a sheet list. Start with the number, name, that's not. All right, so to organize them, we're going to want a little more information than this. So to do so, we're going to need something more than sheet number and sheet name, because we'll need to organize them based on discipline, volume. Sometimes your project will be in multiple volumes, so you'll need to be able to organize that as well. And sometimes multiple submissions, as I mentioned earlier. So to create this, we'll need to give it a unique name since it's for sheets. One way to differentiate between what you create and what is out of the box is just to capitalize everything. You can call it sheet type, you can call it sheet we'll go sheet volume for now. Well, I figure out how to spell discipline. Not my strong suit spelling. We want it to be a shared parameter, but we're creating a new one. So we're going to edit. We're going to create a new group. Go ahead and call it sheets. We want it to be text because that's what we'll be entering. I just created a parameter. All right, if you've created a parameter that you don't want, and you've put it in the wrong place, in this instance, I wanted it to be a group, so I don't want it anymore, so you can select it and then delete it, and you'll get this warning that it's going away forever, and it's gone. So now I'm going to go down to groups. I'm going to create the group sheets. Here I'll create the new parameter. Make sure I change it to text. You call it sheet type. Sheet discipline. Sheet order. And sheet volume. And I think on one of these I got in a hurry. So we're going to go look at the properties. I did it correctly. Now you notice that when I brought up the properties box, everything's grayed out. So if I hadn't changed this to text and it was still length, you would have to delete that parameter and start over. But it looks like we're good to go. So we're going to hit OK. All right, this is the new schedule I created. So we have sheet volume, sheet type, We'll say that one's part of all right. When I brought them in, I forgot to select a category. So I'm going to go up to project parameters. Actually, when I created it. I didn't forget, I didn't get that option. So when you bring it in this way, it doesn't allow you the option of picking what category it's going to work in. You have to tell Revit which one that is. So since it's not happy with the way I brought it in, I'm going to go ahead and well, first I'm going to see if it's a project parameter. So it hasn't been brought in at all. So then I selected the category, hit OK, and the volume. Now that I've told it what category it's going to work in, now I can enter information. And so now I need to do that for sheet types also for that to work. So now that one works as well. If you're a consultant for an architect, sometimes you'll get their title block and there are parameters that you can't get to work. And the reason for that is you don't have that shared parameter. A quick and easy way to get that into your project is to hit the Manage tab, have their model open. So I'm going to open another one. And I pick the one that gets to be upgraded. Does anyone have any questions so far? There we go. going back to this one, why don't I get that? Oh. There we go. When you have a schedule open, it's not going to let you access the transfer project standards. So just go to a drafting view or sheet view or any other view but a schedule, and you'll be able to access transfer project standards. Click on it. You'll select the model that you want to transfer your projects from. You're not going to want to transfer everything that's checked here, so you'll check none. You want to transfer over the project information for your title block. Typically that's where that's going to be, and so you'll select that, hit OK. I just transfer new only, and let's see what we brought over. Organization name, organization description came over, and building name. And so that's how you can quickly get those parameters into your project that were in your consultants or the architects folder. Any questions? All right, are you familiar with creating multi-category setting up any parameter to be used in multiple categories? Would you like to see that demonstrated?
I would like to see that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and use the furniture schedule I've got set up because your furniture or your assets will be in multiple categories. And sometimes you want those to tag using the same tag. So we're going to start with creating a new parameter. Bring it in as a project parameter. I'm going to go ahead and make it a shared parameter in case that's something later on you want to add to a family. You could make it as a project parameter, but it would only exist in the project. And I'll elaborate a little more on that in a moment. So let's create a few more categories for furniture.
So this comes to.
Pardon? Oh, you've already got some for department. So I've created the shared parameter. I'm going to bring it in to the project. And then from here, I'm going to select the categories. This is where you select more than one category. So typically, you would have furniture, of course, furniture systems. Equipment could be made on generic models, so you'll want to select that as well. Another one would be specialty equipment. If it's a hospital or another building type, you might want to know where your security devices are. Nurse call devices. So you could select those to be in this group and hit OK. Now to bring it into the schedule, find it in the list, bring it over. And and it looks like this one was created just for furniture. So I'm going to create a new schedule. And since we'll be reading from the model, it'll be schedules, quantities. We'll want it to be a multi-category schedule. And all right. As you can see, our asset use is here. Asset tag for the client is here. They can have type marks or just marks. You can do family and type. I always like to do family and then type. Now I'm going to add in the client tag and the use. And hit OK. So as you can see, a lot of things came in. You may not want to have the shrubs or the concrete columns that are round. And to find out what category they are, you can add that to your schedule. So from there, you can start filtering what you don't want. And the nice part is these are not in alphabetical order to make it easy to find something. I think I selected more than I meant to. Okay. There we go. So right now I have equal, so it will stay in. So select does not equal, and that will get rid of plantings. The downside to multi-category Schedules is that you'll have to do some filtering and be picky about what categories. The nice thing is you can filter things out so you only see a few categories. Any questions so far? One thing we're trying to do with our Central Ohio BIM user group is to get some feedback on what you would like to see for future presentations. I hope you found this helpful. It is being recorded and we'll have it up on our YouTube channel later this week or next. I'll send out announcements and notifications so you can watch it if you like or share it with someone who'd be interested. We also have a presence on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. If you have some ideas for presentations you'd like to see, please reach out via any of those outlets. Let us know. If you would like to be a presenter, we'd love to have you. So let us know that. Well, thanks for attending and have a great day.